Hey guys, my name is Hannah and today I'm going to be doing a small book haul, and yesterday I went with my older sister to Foyles for the first time, and this is the massive Foyles in London on Charing Cross Street, I think, and it's the most magical place I've ever been in my whole entire life. Okay, let me explain to you. There are 5 floors, one of them's a cafe, but that means that this is big enough for a cafe. I've never been to a bookshop that is big enough to have a cafe. And then there were 4 floors of just books. And it was beautiful. I was kind of walking around, just grabbed any book that I could find, and I had like a pile of 6 or 7 books in my hands. I just hadn't taken anything to carry them with. But in the end, I got only 4 books. Still went up to nearly £40 though. I don't have any money left basically, but books are worth it. I actually loved it so much that my birthday's coming up soon, and I've told my friends not to buy me any presents, just take all the money they would have spent on presents and put it on one massive gift card for Foyles. And damn, October is going to be a great book buying month. Anyway, let's just jump right in. The first book that I purchased from Foyles is Our Duck Duet by V.E. Schwab. And I read the first book in this, I think it's a duology. I read it last month, I think. And I loved it so much, and I really wanted to go and get this book, the second book in the series, but I couldn't find it anywhere. And because Foyles is so big, it had so many hardback books, which if you live in London you know how difficult it is to get hardback books in places like Waterstones and W.H. Smith's. Like, the hardback sections are so tiny. It had loads of the American editions of books. It was beautiful. I'm not very good at explaining what books are about, but I will try. This series, if you do not know, is about 2 characters, one called Kate Harker and the other is called August Flynn. They live in, I think it's like the US, way in the future, and it's all been split into 10 territories. I think they live in Verity. There's a massive split down the middle, and the Flynn family own one half and the Harker family own the other. August Flynn is a monster. There are 3 kinds of monsters in their world, and he is the most rare type. Kate has managed to kick herself out of 5 schools, I think, in a very short amount of time, and her dad has sent her to this one last school as a final resort and hopes that she doesn't get herself kicked out. But then, because there's a massive rivalry between the Harker family and the Flynn family find out about Kate Harker being sent to this school and send their son August, who is roughly the same age as her, to that school as well, and their story goes on from there. It is an incredible book. I would 100% recommend you to read it. The next book that I got was The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. And this book is about a 17-year-old girl called Molly who has her twin sister Cassie. They're both very different. Cassie is really outgoing and she's quite extroverted, but Molly is very different. She's very quiet and keeps to herself. This book is about how she has had many crushes, but she has never acted upon a single one. This is just a cute contemporary book about her going for it, having her first chance and first shot at a relationship. Lots of booktubers have been reading it recently, so I thought that I would pick it up. The next book is another book that lots of booktubers have been reading recently, and that is The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. Apparently the audiobook for this is amazing, but this is a very expensive book and I cannot afford the audiobook on top of this. It was actually here, nearly 20 quid, but I got it for £12.99. So this book is about a guy called Henry who goes on a tour around Europe with his best friend, who he also has a crazy crush on, Percy, and his sister, and he thinks that this is just going to be a very relaxed and laid-back trip and he can go to parties, drink a lot, but it turns out not to be like that at all. His dad has, I think, laid out a very strict set of rules. They have a lot of bumps along the way and it turns into an adventure. I don't really know much about it, but sometimes I like going into books blind, not really knowing what it's about. And the final book in this haul is a book that I have been wanting to get for a while, and finally I picked it up, and that is Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. If you haven't heard about this series, I'm surprised, but I'll tell you what it's about. The year is 1946 and there is a woman, Claire Randall, who's going on her 2nd honeymoon with her husband. But then Claire walks through a circle of standing stones and is suddenly transported into 1743 in Scotland. And the first person who she comes across is her husband's 6 times great-grandfather. She meets a guy called Jamie Fraser, who lots of people obsess over, and I feel like finally I can read the book and find out about what I've been missing out on. I'm gonna read this when I go on holiday. The pages in this book are so like white compared to, look at the difference. Like this is just a regular book and then this is Outlander. Very strange. Anyway, that is all the books that I got. I am 100% going to go back to foils as soon as I possibly can. When you're in a lovely bookshop, time goes so fast. I was in there for a solid hour before I even realised that I had to go home, and it felt like 15 minutes. I am going to go there one day and just spend the whole day there when I get more money because I spent it all on books. Anyway, I guess that's it. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye!